Game 7 Baseball, game7baseball.com. And we have some great stuff coming up. Fall ball. Right around the corner. You know, it's always a good time. I think fall balls are cool because you can just grab your buddies and kind of, you know, I remember, you know, some fall ball where we'd let the kids make the lineup. Just have some fun.
You're trying to get to break the ice anyways. As some of the, you know, how baseball is now, you have change, you know, so it's good to have some kids come in and lighten up the mood a little bit and not be so serious like it is kind of in the summer.
Yeah.
I know for us specifically, we haven't started with none of our groups. I think our 14U and 9U teams have started, but for our high school age groups, we're kind of letting them adapt to high school first.
Yeah.
Then we're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to implement some things, and then from there, it's just we're going to play.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Yeah. And that's what fall ball should be about. It's nice. It's a little more relaxing. Just go and enjoy. The weather gets a little less hot.
Maybe. You know, September is so weird to me because you'll have, like, right now it's obviously beautiful outside. And so you've been in the mornings and the late evenings. It's really, really nice, you know, high 70s. And then somewhere in September, it's going to be like 94 degrees and it's going to feel like 100 again. But that sun's just beat down. I mean, that's what it was like for coaching high school softball last year. It was like, why is it so hot in September? It's supposed to, like, because weather's getting here.
No, because September, what most people don't understand is September is a truly summer month. The fall solstice doesn't happen until September 21.
That's correct.
Right?
That's correct.
I'm just saying.
If you want to be technical.
I was being technical.
You are 100% correct.
Yes.
I mean, I can't even argue that, and I would like to, but I can't argue. But it's going to be hotter than it is right now in August, and August is supposed to be that dog day or whatever, but I guess we're through all that.
Starting right after Labor Day, Game 7 Baseball, get your team registered, get yourself in there, some great stuff. Got the Branson one. I think it's pretty close to being sold out last time I talked to Dave, so make sure if you want to get down to Branson, get in there. Be a lot of fun. Game7baseball.com. There you go. All right. We've got a great show. First, though, I want to say, give a shout out to cops and the kids, all those people that came out. It was a fun event, home run derby. We had a great time. You can go watch the event on Youth Baseball Midwest if you missed it. You can go watch the full event. It's there for you on our YouTube channel, Youth Baseball Midwest. Sam Riley from the St. Anne Police Department won on the cop side, and Colt Hopper from GBA Baseball won on the kids side. Now, I want to say, they stress, they don't put the fence out very far, okay? It's the point of it. They want home runs. And there's only a handful of people that are really crushing bombs, okay? Then there's some kids that do pretty good. Some kids that don't. It's a fun event.
Yep.
It was fun. Some of the kids come up. Lauren was doing some interviews. You know how many home runs? I hope I get one. Because it's a home run. It's harder than people think it is.
Oh, you're trying to crush baseballs. You're trying to make sure you're elevating. It's like you go in there and just think you're just going to smash. And I can remember one time personally for me, this is an adult, and I had was hitting well. I had hit a bunch of home runs up to this point, and I was voted into the home run derby for the All-Star game. And I have a guy pitch to me that I hit with all summer or all winter long, and he throws me BP all the time. I felt really strong about it. I was playing on a short porch, like a 300-foot fence.
Right.
And I'm thinking to myself walking into this, I'm going to hit quite a few. I hit one. I didn't make it out of the first round. I was embarrassed, just personally embarrassed. Some of the guys obviously laughed at me, no big deal. But even thinking about the number, I think the next round was like 4. That was like the best. And so I wasn't that bad. Everybody was trying to, hammer this baseball. And we were out at St. Cyr out in Riverview. I don't know if
I'm not familiar.
Okay, so that park had like a 300-foot fence on it. I mean, how could you not hit it out,
Right.
And I think 7 ended up winning it in the final rounds. People started to figure it out that you can't take those massive hacks, and I was rolling over ground balls foul, and oh, it was
It's
so bad.
harder than you think. So kudos to those guys that participated. We had softball, a lot of girls, and Layla Payton hit 19 bombs.
I had to watch.
That girl can hit.
There's some. Oh yeah, don't sleep on some of these softball players out there.
Man.
I've been in softball for a lot longer than baseball in the last 10 years or so. But so some of these kids I know from either competing against or just hearing about, and there's some kids that can swing, and they give it. They definitely give it their all.
I was impressed with the final two, the kids that made it to the final on the kids' side. Colt Hopper, of course, won it. Cooper DeManuel, he's now with PBA. Wow, what a left-hand swing.
Yeah.
I think he's playing for Coach Hill next year with the PBA. And, man, the final, Colt hit 24. Cooper hit 23.
Oh man, I haven't made it quite through the video yet because I wasn't able to make it on Saturday, so I had to watch some of it.
And ABC Ballpark.
Oh yeah,
DeManuel was hitting them out of the park.
Oh boy, yeah. See, it's only like 280 down the line.
That's okay. I mean, he's 15-year-old kid. That's a pretty good shot.
Oh yeah, no,
BP like that. And
he was probably hitting them out to right center field because that's
Garion
where
was doing BP. We were checking his chicken wing time to time.
Did he throw all BP?
It was him. I can't remember the other gentleman's name. I'm sorry, but he was out there. Yeah, he was throwing a lot of BP.
Was he part of the Mariners group? Was it Tyler? Was it a bigger fella?
No, it was an older gentleman, kind of shorter. Can't remember. He was wearing a Mariners hat.
I wonder if that was their catching guy.
I'm not quite sure.
Jeff. Smugler. I'm sorry if I
butchered
your name. He's one of their older coaches there.
So it was a lot of fun. If you get a chance, go watch it and appreciate it. We're looking forward to hopefully we'll get a chance to do that again. Appreciate Mike Morgan, Dave Penning coming out calling that. We almost got blown away couple times, but we made it through.
Yeah.
And Mike Morgan, Dave Penning, they did a great job calling that. So, all right, let's get into our topic here. We got a couple topics for you today. We're going to talk some baseball cards. If you're looking to be a collector, if you're looking just to collect, I think there's a difference between being a collector and collecting.
Yeah, one is probably geared towards a idea that you want to do, and the other one is just value. Collecting is to me is just taking it all in. The baseball, the basketball, you're not partial to a team or a player. Where I think a collector is you might collect a team specific. You know what I mean? So you're collecting certain players or values.
Right?
Yeah, 100%. Like I have one guy that I'm friends with that only thing he'll do is try to buy slabs, or if he gets a certain card, he will try to send them off to get graded. And that's his whole collection. Yeah. So I would consider him a collector of a certain style of card, right? As opposed to me, I think I'm collecting, and I've kind of changed to more of the collector side, but definitely a difference.
I did a long time ago. I started with baseball, but I've always been a big basketball fan, and I was for a long time. I was a collector, and it was basketball. I would do sets. I would look for rookie cards. I've still got a Shaquille O'Neal rookie card. I've got a couple of different pieces of rookie cards from Kobe Bryant from back in the day. I couldn't tell you, though, today what they're worth. I couldn't. I don't look at it that much as much as I used to.
I would tell you to get them out of your closet or the shoebox that they're in. Make sure that you put them in protectors.
They're in protectors.
Then send them off and get graded.
Get them graded.
Yes, and just for protection.
That's the other thing. Exactly. And the other thing is I have the Skybox, original Skybox set from the original Dream Team.
Oh, nice.
I have the whole set.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was one that I just, if nothing else, that's cool.
There's some weird things out there that, you can go back to the collecting versus collectors. There's a Mark Jackson card out there that has those twins that committed a crime against their parents. I don't remember the name of the twins.
Yeah,
from Minnesota or whatever they were.
Yeah,
they're in the background of.
Wasn't it the Ramir or
something like that?
Yeah,
I was trying to be PC on that. I didn't know what other word to use, but they're on cards, and so for some odd reason, a simple Mark Jackson, 11 years into the NBA, is collecting some big time value because those two guys are in the back of the card. There's a Ja Morant, which is a young kid that's in the NBA, Memphis Grizzly stud. I think he can fly. So they have the Young Dolph or whatever, a rapper who was killed in the back of one of his cards. That card goes for a higher value
because of that.
And so that to me, I think, is how you see like the collectors or your Billy Ripken cards back from the 80s and 90s that had the cuss word on the back of the bottom of the knob. There's a few different variations of this card. And so literally you have the one that's blacked out, which holds nothing. Then you have the words, and then you have a whiteout. And the whiteout's the one that everybody wants. Not even the one that says the cuss word, because it's so much more difficult. And so anybody that's in the junk era, which is the 80s, 90s kind of time frame, there's some cards out there that you need to Google. Because you'll be shocked. Like Randy Johnson has a card that has the Marlboro sign, the old cigarettes.
Yeah.
And if it shows the red one, it's got a green, it's blacked out, it's got different colors and variations of that card that sell for different pricing. So
wow,
it's interesting.
So what would you suggest? Here we have kids watching, we have everybody watching. You might want to collect, and we're talking baseball because I think, and that's the thing, a collector, baseball cards. If you want to get into other things, that's it. But we're talking baseball here. So if you want to be a collector or collecting, how would you suggest starting?
So for me, this is interesting. Obviously, as a kid, I was collecting cards. I wanted to go to the store, and every time my dad got a paycheck, I asked for a couple bucks and go buy some, baseball cards with gum in them. And I'd chew that terrible gum, and so I was just really collecting cards. I didn't have a purpose. When I got a Mark McGwire, I set it aside.
Yep.
That's where maybe the collector side of me came in, because obviously Mark McGwire was my favorite player at the time. But really, I was collecting volume. And so I didn't have a purpose with it. And COVID really changed recently in the card collecting game in general, baseball, all sports. But COVID hit, and people had all these cards, and people started selling them. And then, Topps and Panini started making all these different types of cards and autographs and fun stuff. And next thing I know it's boomed. And there's a lot of money to be made in it. So I went from collecting again to being a collector to being a seller to buying and flipping. I've kind of had a little bit of everything in the last 2 or 3 years of playing with baseball cards. And for me, it's about, the young kid probably needs to find out who their favorite player is.
Right.
And be a collector of that athlete.
Start there
because it becomes cheaper.
Right.
You're not buying bunches of baseball cards. It's very hard right now to buy retail in the sense of going into your Walmarts, your Targets, things like that. Especially if you're getting new to this, I would go start having conversations with your local card shops. They're still out there. So
there's there's the one that we're familiar with. It's over in O'Fallon.
Yep, Chris,
it's what, St. Louis or
Show Me Collectibles.
Show Me Collectibles.
It's over there off of
the frontage road, right?
Yeah, like by Waffle House and Highway K
and 70.
70. Yep. Right there in the service road, in between that like clock shop, I think, or the.
Have you ever been to the baseball card shop? And I don't think I think you got to kind of watch his hours, because it just says baseball cards across the top. I still believe he's there over on Mid Rivers. It's on the north side of Mexico.
Yeah, he's still there.
Okay.
Yep.
He's still there. I'm talking about, right?
In the little strip mall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it. It actually has a name on his window or something like that. But again, these are all people are on Facebook too, so Instagram, right. And so you find them there, and they are very limited in hours, because there's just not it's not like it used to be. It's not like it's an old hobby shop where you have people running in and out of there all the time. It's kind of like a by appointment type thing. So
I think that's very interesting how they do that. How how that's changed from what it used to be.
Man, I'm not even on the surface of what happens these days. So COVID, going back to COVID and how this impacted people, you had businesses that had to have certain amounts of volume from Topps and Panini. And Panini is who has like Donruss and Leaf, and Panini is a non-licensed product for baseball.
Yeah.
So they don't have the logos and stuff on the uniforms. So they have blank uniforms.
They probably can't afford it.
I don't know if it's that. I think I'm sure there's some other things that are going into this. I know that actually both companies, I think, have been bought by Fanatics. I think they're going to be changing the game on the card business, but it probably has something to do with Topps specifically buying that. Like they bought them, and they they paid more than Panini, but Topps hasn't been in other sports. Topps hasn't been in football in a long time. So,
really?
There could be some things, and that's why Panini is such a big player in the football side of things, is because of that. And I'm not even sure Topps is in basketball. I don't collect basketball, so I'm not even sure if Topps is in it.
Topps, even back when I was doing that, Topps I don't think was in basketball in that respect. I remember it was Skybox, which was
Fleer.
Fleer, yeah.
Fleer, yeah.
And Fleer was owned by Topps at one point, right?
Yeah, and now it's like if there is any kind of playoff that, it's Panini. So Panini took like Donruss, Leaf, your National Treasures, like all those weird,
Yeah.
non-top
I remember
stuff.
Donruss, yeah.
Stadium Club, Upper Deck,
Stadium
all
Club,
Topps.
Yep. Stadium
stuff.
Club was a big one for basketball as well. Stadium Club.
Definitely when Stadium Club really came out.
Because that was the rookie card I have for Shaq
oh,
is
yeah.
the Stadium Club.
That's the big one.
Yeah.
That's the good one that you want to have.
So, these are things that I think are very interesting. So if you're starting this and you're finding you're a good player, you got some stuff here that kind of show kids how to take care of the cards too, right?
I do. And some of these, like, going back and kind of recommending some things is go to your hobby shops. I think the best bang for your buck is going to be picking up hobby boxes. Now, hobby boxes are obviously more expensive, but in those hobby boxes, they have a certain amount of parallels or inserts, autographs. And so that's where you start to get kind of the value out of these. And as you said, you would set these cards.
Right.
A lot of times you can buy a hobby box and you can set something. Like Topps does a Topps Jumbo. You're pretty much going to set the entire paper copy of it, which is just a base card. And then you maybe get 5 autographs or 3 autographs or a bunch of inserts or jersey cards, stuff like that. So. In doing so, I would go out and buy penny sleeves, which is the first thing that you wrap these. And I brought these in, and hopefully everybody can see these. These are just clear sleeves, card sleeves that you would set the card in. Then you would put these in what they have top loaders. These top loaders are the hard plastic. I still wouldn't be throwing them around everywhere, stuff like that, because there's a ton of value in cards. But they keep them safe. And there's obviously other types of penny sleeves and other types of top loading cards. Like, for instance, this is a thick card sleeve, which allows things like these jersey cards that I'm getting ready to show here. Well, this would allow the thicker card to go into.
I got to say this. If I would have, I don't know if they had it back in the day, but nonetheless, if I would have stuck my Pete Rose card in one of these rather than in my bicycle spokes, it might be worth some money nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at anything from the early days. I mean, you're talking about the mantles. Like, I can remember my grandpa saying, "Hey, take that 86 or 85 or whatever year that I started riding bikes." He's like, "Put one of those in your bicycle, and here you go."
Yeah.
Pop, 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 pop. I always thought it was cool, and I didn't realize, it had a Doc Gooden rookie card in there or something. At the time was a nice card, or a Barry Bonds.
Yes.
And it's like, man, I just think about seeing my grandpa's cards, and they were the same way. They were all beat up, and bent and folded. Nobody really kind of cared about them, or they were in shoe boxes. And, the cardboard had, kind of had condensation in it and kind of shrunk the cards, or, loose corners and stuff like that. But there is a ton of ways to keep your cards particularly safe. And again, know the size of your cards too. A standard card, I don't remember the points on them, but there's like these are one touches. I obviously didn't open these. These are new, but this is a one touch for a booklet, and keep these cards. I mean, that looks pretty cool, right? To kind
I love that.
Yeah, kind of
because
display.
Brooks Robinson, and you might not have saw it, that was Brooks Robinson and Ozzie Smith facing
Jersey card.
Yeah,
this card is a thicker card. This is like a 120 point card. So the higher the number, the thicker the card.
Okay.
And so you're going to want to, if you have these thick cards, find the right holders for them. They make top loaders that are thick. They make one touches that are thick. These one touches are magnetic versus when we were putting those nice cards in things, they were screw downs.
Yes,
the screw downs are a no-no. So if you're out buying cards,
oops.
You want to, before you walk out, make sure that card's not stuck to the to the screw down holder, and because if that's the case, you probably have lost some coloring and some things that's not as valuable. But start with the protection, and then from there start buying cards.
Yeah.
And if you are really into the MLB and you are, start paying attention to the people in the minor leagues when they start coming out with baseball cards, because right now the most popular card to get is the first Bowman Chromes. So it's basically
First Bowman
Chrome,
okay.
which is owned by Topps. Those are the cards that you want to start chasing early, because they hold long-term much more value than even like just Topps-based rookie cards. There's obviously the Mike Trouts. And the reason that's very different is because back then it's very different than it is right now because of COVID. They would only come out with certain sets. So now it's like Bowman has
so if you're looking at the St. Louis Cardinals, it's your favorite team, and you're looking at those things, if you've got like a Nolan Gorman from a couple years ago at when he comes in and whatnot, now he's playing in the big club. You have that. That's that's an interesting. How does his career go from here, right?
Yeah, of course. And again, starting with the first card is the first Bowman, and then you're going to want his prospect Bowman card. Then you're going to want his rookie Bowman card, and it's just years that he gets there. His first Bowman card, because he's such a top prospect, might come out like, I think his is in 2018. It's 2022 that he made his debut in the show.
Right.
So we're talking 6, whatever it is, 4 years. Well, good math. Before he ever touched the league, before his kind of his first baseball card comes out, and his Topps rookie card has nowhere near the same value as his first Bowman Chrome.
Right.
And again, this gets down the rabbit hole, but these cards have refractor colors where they're rainbows.
We're going to keep going down the rabbit hole. What I want to do here, and we'll talk more about this, we're going to kind of do these things on a weekly basis because I think it's fun and what we're doing. But he brought some cards. I want you to kind of show some of the cards you got. I think it's cool here, and we want to do that as well.
So how, for me, this I guess would have been 2020, how I kind of got back into collecting was because of a certain project Topps had come out with.
Okay.
Topps had come out with a card, Project 2020. I brought a Bob Gibson because obviously he's a Cardinals. Everybody knows who Bob Gibson is. And this particular card, Project 2020, it was 20 artists making 20 cards to the 20 of the top players in MLB history. Now, they didn't have the Babe Ruths, the Barry Bonds, and things like that, but they had certain, good players, Doc Gooden, George Brett. I don't remember all 20 of them, but Frank Thomas, and all they were kind of makes of their rookie card. So they would take the rookie card, and in these artists all over the country, world, would draw the art of the rookie card. And so, how they impacted, life in general. So like Bob Gibson played basketball. So there's one of these cards that were done by maybe one of the artists. I think Don C. had incorporated basketball, the Globetrotters and the St. Louis Hawks kind of in his drawings. And some of them are politically driven. Some of them are things like Ted Williams, how they, the whole thing with the cryogenics or whatever with his brain and things like that. They actually have like his top coming off and like it being frozen. And so they're pretty neat drawings. And again, some of them that are politically charged, I'm not saying good or bad. Those have some different values to those cards. So this is what started it for me. One of my favorite cards out of that collection was as growing up in the 90s. I was a big Dr. Dre fan. and Dwight Gooden's rookie card. This is by Don C. It's Dr. K instead of Dr. Dre, and it's kind of like the album cover.
Oh, gotcha.
Of Dr. Dre's. I'm not going to say the name of the cover, but all the parents should know. But it even has the parental advisory. I know that you probably can't see that, but it even has the parental advisory on there. And I just think, again, if you think about Dwight Gooden and kind of his career path, there's kind of some things in there that you might worry about. But like Darryl Strawberry, who I actually just saw the other day out to eat.
Most people don't know he lives in this area.
Yeah, in St. Charles. And I forget where we were at, but he was just we were actually in Wentzville.
Okay.
He was eating at Brett Hall's. He was there with his whole family. He has in Project 70, which is this card. This had like 1,000-something cards. This was insane. So the Project 2020 only had 400 cards. This was absolute bonkers. This was one I liked. Lauren Taylor probably happens to be one of my favorite artists. And these cards, as you can see, I'll just show you so you can see this. I'm sure the people online cannot. This was the All-Star game where Nolan Arenado had basically the city, St. Louis skyline in his artwork, and so did Rafael Devers. And so that was a pretty cool. But I went from collecting to being a collector of only Lauren Taylor's art, or Alex Party's art, which was like comic book characters. Couple cool, fun pieces I like, things that you can do. Beckett allows you to send off autographs and things like that to get authenticated. This is just a cut piece of Warren Spahn. And Beckett had gone in and graded that for you to kind of certify this as a signature. So you can send cut pieces off that, Beckett usually is what everybody sends their autographs to. They go in and kind of take care of that. And then you'll come back with the certification that you'll see up top. Just the autograph is authenticated. Lots of grading companies out there. So we have.
We'll do a whole segment on that because I want to do that.
Grading. I'll show the piece that you like the most.
I want to do that.
This is one of my favorite pieces, and this is a custom piece done. This is a metal pop, kind of like a pop rivet. This is a 4-page booklet. Okay, it is 25, numbered to 25. There's 16 rookies on here. So these are some of the top rookies at the time. This is a 2020 National Treasures. I believe it's 2020. Could be 2019. It's 2020. This is a Panini product, as you see. These cards don't have, if you're looking at them, don't have any logos on them.
Let me do this real quick.
They have everything from pitchers on there, to defenders. And pitchers do not sell like position players do. That's for sure. But what's cool about this booklet, it has a bunch of different game-used patches. So there's 2-color patches, single-color patches, 3-color patches, and what makes it a 3-color, 2-color is obviously, like for Sean Murphy here, he has the the green, the yellow, and the white. That's a 3-color patch.
Yeah.
And so those are really, kind of sought after. And so this has a Bo Bichette bat piece in here, Kyle Lewis. It has, Yordan Alvarez, which are guys, and, happens to have one Dodger in here, or 2 Dodgers. Had Gavin Lux in here as well, and Dustin May. Yeah. But that's the only Dodgers I have because I don't collect Dodgers. And I purposely didn't bring any in because the Dodgers are the new Yankees, I guess. But yes, I
like them better. That's the evil empire in New York, bro.
You were there once.
When?
Dodgers were there once. The Brooklyn Dodgers. They were there once.
And?
He just carried over to L.A. Part of Brooklyn.
What's your point?
I don't know what I'm trying to make. I actually have. I'm a Dodgers. I'm not a Dodgers hater.
Yeah, no. That's the thing. And I tell people, I grew up a Dodgers fan. I've been living in St. Louis a long time. You can't help but root. The Cardinals organization is great. They're one of the, and it's interesting to me. As much as the Dodgers get a lot of pub and it's LA and all the stuff and the franchise itself, the Cardinals, other than the Yankees, are second to the Yankees in World Series victories. And I don't think a lot of people know that.
I'm not sure why.
You know what I mean?
I do.
The Dodgers don't have that many.
They're close, though, aren't they? They're 7?
No, 7. Yeah, I mean, they lost all the time to the Yankees in Brooklyn, so.
There's a lot of
there
people.
You go. They could have been better.
There's, 27 other teams that lost to the Yankees?
Yeah, but,
26, 27.
That's why they called them the bums. Them bums.
There's some names that you won't forget, and one of them is, and I guess they're all maybe from New York, is Pond Scum. I'll never forget the Pond Scum stuff of the 80s growing up. And I tell you what, like for some odd reason, I was a huge Howard Johnson fan.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it happened because of the Keith Hernandez deal where, he left St. Louis and that's how it all became, because only Pond Scum or whatever would take these kinds of. And I guess that's how it happened. I think the story behind Pond Scum is pretty cool. But baseball cards are something that it's a joy. My son is not into the baseball cards as much as I am, and I was really hoping that he would be. But I don't have that kind of connection with him. Like my dad didn't do it either. My grandpa was kind of into cards, so he kind of helped motivate me there a little bit. And maybe that's how it works. But we have kids at the Hitting Zone. I have a young man that just absolutely loves collecting. I asked him the other day. I said, "Who's your favorite player?" He's like, "I just collect baseball cards." So he's collecting. He's a volume kind of guy.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna bring him a little bit of some cards, not too expensive, but I'm gonna bring him some things to help his collection get going.
We're going to move to our second part of this segment, and we're going to talk a little bit about this coming up. We've got our winter workout tour coming, and my company, the company that produces Youth Baseball Midwest, is Red Earth Productions. And Red Earth Productions does a winter workout tour. We started back, we did some club spotlights here and there, and the winter workout tour kind of came out of that and started in 2020. And this will be now our 4th year in doing this, and we're looking forward to it very much. And we've talked, with a lot of clubs, been around the area, and there's in this conversation. And just so you know, if you're looking for any sports videos or things that you want in your club and whatnot, besides if you're looking for promotional video, anything of that nature, Red Earth Productions, we're very much in tune with the baseball community. We can help you out, so give us a call, and we would love to work with your club. So just let us know.
Yeah, from experience, hands-on.
Thank you.
Very, very hands-on. More so, most of the problems have been mine from not doing a good job. But you're definitely guys are on top of that stuff. And we've used several different marketing platforms and companies, and so far within the last it's been great working with you guys. And that's not just for the show. I mean, it made sense for us budget-wise too.
Appreciate it. So we're going to talk a little bit about this as we're coming up. I'm going to announce this, and we'll be announcing it. We are going to do a club spotlight because he does do a club, and I know he's sitting here next to me. People go, "Well, of course." Well, yeah, of course, because he's got a club.
I talked him into it.
He did. I didn't really want to do it. No.
I don't even think. I think I cracked a joke maybe one time, and now he feels bad, so he's coming on in because we have.
It's mercy. Mercy.
We have one of the largest clubs in this area.
Well, we did PBA in your facility last year, right?
True. That is one of their larger clubs. We are not that big. Ours should be easy to talk about.
And so we got that, and then I talked with John Myers. And we're going to be we're adding the Midwest Futures to the tour stop. We're hoping that we're going to be able to get down to the Bros Brothers in Fordland, in that area. And we've talked and had a good conversation, so we're looking forward. And we're still looking to get one more added to it, hopefully somewhere in the central part of the state, maybe over in Kansas City. That's our goal, because we want to see what's happening in the whole state. And that goes to this point. I started compiling because I want to see if we're doing winter workout tours and we take these tour stops. I want to know, what clubs are out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think there may be a few more hanging out there. And in 2020 we did the Gators Baseball Academy. Chris Craddock does a great job over there in his group. We also did the Midland Bandits, of course, Matt Shadow. That was 2020. We also did the Gamers. Mark Gallion, Matt Whiteside had a great time over there. The St. Louis Naturals. We were down there in 2020, and we also had a tour stop with the St. Louis Redbirds. EJ Basta and his group. We did, and it was funny in that 2020. And this is what happens. That was the Rawlings Extreme. We're over in Chesterfield, and they're no longer a club anymore now. So it's kind of how things change, right?
Yep. You're seeing that too. Like even this year, I think some other teams have merged.
Yes.
Groups have merged, with Midland or even a couple of the other large organizations. You're starting to kind of see just melding some of this together because of maybe some of the resources other facilities have or just the resources of coaches.
Exactly. And 2021, we were able to go down to St. Genevieve. And I think this is interesting, too. When you get into some of these smaller markets and some of these groups, these clubs, the St. Gen River Dogs do a great job with their what they have. And I know that sounds, people go, that seems a little condescending. Well, no, it's not. They do a great job. They have some good teams. They play at a AA level. They work hard. They have their kids who have gone on to play college coming back, working with the kids. It's a very quality program in that respect. They are working, and they're working with the talent that they pull in. It's a smaller market. It just is.
That's how we should be looking at it, not as condescending whatsoever, because at the end of the day, like, where are they drawing from?
Right.
Communities of 2,000 people that are on the outskirts of St. Gen. I mean, it's not like even Cape has a bigger market than St. Gen does. And maybe even St. Gen's pulling from Cape. But at the end of the day, like, St. Louis is such a large population. What would you rather have? Would you rather have the problem of drawing kids down in St. Gen? Because I'm sure that the talent pool may be better overall than it would be here because there's so many teams.
And from St. Gen, are some of those southern St. Louis clubs pulling some of those kids?
Yeah.
That's a very real thing because I've seen kids coming from Springfield, Missouri to play up here.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So that's a factor.
We have kids that drive an hour and a half to come play for us, that are up north because it's just, in Hannibal or, Mexico, Missouri. People come down here because St. Louis, obviously St. Louis has the numbers, the fields, the tournament providers, the showcase opportunities, the schools, so obviously that's the chase to come to, St. Louis or Kansas City, but again, I would love to have some of these problems that like the Southern Illinois prospects have where they're drawing from 4 little small counties of people instead of, maybe a 20-mile radius of my facility, and I have 10,000 athletes there. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to say anything good or bad.
It's just your thoughts.
It's just that if I could take 2 or 3 kids from all these little small counties, I think my team's going to end up probably being okay because you just don't have the numbers of teams. It's not like you have 100 kids, 20 teams, trying to get 100 kids.